Hey everybody, how are you? I am so happy to come on here and announce something fabulous to you. White supremacy died today. It died a quick and painful death today. It got eradicated surgically out of each and every one of our hearts and beings. Something happened in the United States of America, a tragedy that went inside of each of us Americans' hearts as a barometer and says, okay, we've been playing with our own inner racism. We've been playing with this because we come from a heritage of racism. America started as a slave-built country. We destroyed the Native Americans, genocide, killed them off. Then we took slaves from Asia in the form of Chinese people, and they built our railroads. We got slaves from Africa, and we kept them in slavery and used them to have a financial advantage over every other country. This is what we did as a nation. And I am a part of this nation as much as any and everybody else is. I participated in this as an American today. I have benefited from these things to some extent. This is our culture, and we protect our white supremacist culture. We protect parts of it. How much can we let go? Because since this is how we were founded, this is a part of our stronghold. We have racism built into our training from generation to generation, and it has always been difficult for us to eradicate. But today, we all looked at it repeatedly on the news over and over again. We saw white people, both white men and women, young and vibrant, middle-aged, and all sorts of different types of white people, all white people, holding up Nazi banners, holding up torches representing the torches that the Ku Klux Klan used to terrorize African Americans. Approximately the 1960s, not too long ago, so maybe approximately 50 years ago, 40 years ago, these were devices that were used to terrorize and lynch and all that sort of thing. We saw white groups of people attacking black men and attempting to beat them to death with their bare hands. We saw white young men, a white young man get in a car and then run over white people who represented the abolitionists of the Civil War that fought against white people who wanted to hold on to slavery. And he ran them over, which is kind of reminiscent of our history of the Civil War, where white people fought against white people, along with black people and Mexican people and Chinese people, because you guys, we've all been here for a very long time, and we fought on both sides of the equation. We fought for what we believed in, and we who determined that we were against our racist and supremacist and dominatory and unfair past have always won, and we have won again today. Now, there's one point that we have to bring out and be true to, and I believe nobody stated it, but I'm going to state it, so I want you to hear it. In each of every one of our societies in America, we hear racist comments all the time. If we don't hear them from other people, they are messages within our own head. We use key terms that you need to recognize so you'll know when you're making a racist statement, so you don't end up carrying a Nazi banner on op-eds, beating up people in the street and running folks over with cars. You know, because that could be any one of us, guys. So people don't wake up one day, born one day, and say, yeah, I want to go and make a fool out of myself and be a killer like that. People don't, you know. You have to stop yourself. Here we go. If you start your sentence with the word the, and then you use a group, a racial group, or a cultural group, including your own, like you say, the white people, the black people, the Jewish people, the this people, the this people. these people, and you make a statement like that, those are all racist statements. The white people, the black people, the Jewish people, the Mexican people, those are all racist statements. If you break down the statement that you make after starting it with the commentary, the white people, the black people, the Mexican people, whatever you say after that is probably mythology, meaning it's not true. It's something that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. We'll just break down one of Trump's statements. Rapists are coming into this country from Mexico. The Mexicans are rapists and they're coming to America from Mexico. That is a racist statement. It starts out by saying that Mexican people, and then it makes a connection to rapist. In every culture of the world, there are rapists. Rapist is not a colored thing. People, human beings, who want to control and dominate other human beings, one of the tactics they will use is rape. In war, a lot of rape happens because people are dominating people and this sort of thing happens. So to all of a sudden try to make a blanket statement that a color of a person determines that they perform a certain task. The other side of that equation is that you're saying that anybody who's not within that group couldn't possibly be a rapist. Well, Trump himself has admitted that he has done things that are rapist things. And he's a white man. He says he has gone out and grabbed women in their vaginal area. If a man grabbed me in my vaginal area, I consider that a physical violation of my body and a rape. So he is a white man and a rapist. Then he's talking about another group of people who he does not know and probably has never met. And then he is saying because of their color, they're this, that, and the other. I'm using him as an example. But I am telling you that I myself make racist statements inside of my head all the time because it is conditioning. They did a study where they had little black girls pick out a doll that was beautiful. The average little black American girl picked out a white doll with straight blonde hair as the image of beauty and stated that they wanted to look like that doll. They did not want to look like themselves or their parents. That's how strong our conditioning is of racism. These are all racist viewpoints, and we have to eradicate it within ourselves. I believe now that we've taken a good look at the fact that racism is dangerous. I mean, I'm not afraid of those Nazis on the street. I'm not afraid of white supremacists. I'm not afraid of the Ku Klux Klan. I am trolled by the alt-right and the Ku Klux Klan all the time. They say tons of hateful things on my channel. I don't block them. You can find the statements if you look in my comments. You'll find them. I welcome them because the only way you can get deliverance from evil inside of ourselves is to recognize it, to voice it, and to recognize it that it is powerless against the God I serve. It is powerless against Jesus Christ. It is powerless against God himself. So God is love, and he created us all diverse because he loves diversity. And God won against the devil proponent of hate. God is love. So in the long equation, God wins. But in the short equation, I didn't know if the United States of America would continue to be a nation or if we were going to allow ourselves to be taken over by Russia. Because obviously the message is clear. Trump wants to use this opportunity to condition Americans that white supremacy is good and communism is good, and the USSR, the Soviet Union, which was a communist state, which is something that Putin is trying to get back together, which is like the Nazi Communist Party. All of that he is saying is good. And his ultimate agenda is that he aligns this nation as a under nation of Russia. So we would become like a Guam. That's what's at stake here. And there's a lot of people who have benefited from white privilege, and they're just laughing and ha 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 and thinking they can get a little perk in the short term from aligning themselves with this so-called big movement. Well, I see it now clearly, and I want you to rejoice with me, because white supremacy in the United States of America has lost. I guarantee you, from this point forward, you will start to see, we Americans see what's going on now, and we're going to take this thing apart. We're going to rip it out at its core from the middle. We're going to unseat anybody who even appears to speak on behalf of this. We're going to go into the voting machines. We're going to find the Russian votes. We're going to find the communist votes. We're not going to allow David Duke to telegraph to Trump saying, hey, you know, we faked the votes to get you in, and if you don't do what we want to do, we will simply turn over the actual votes. You know, it's done. It's not going to work. It's over. Because we, the United States of America, are now going to fight our own inner races. And if I don't have a racist message in my head that agrees with your racist message, if I don't have a message in my head that agrees with your racist message, if I don't have a message in my head that agrees with you taking a car and running over a woman, if I don't have a message in my head that agrees with you beating up a young man on the side of the street, if I don't have a message in my head that agrees with that, I am fully capable of stopping you. I'm telling you, white supremacy died in the United States of America. I've been sick of it. If you know, I have a video called Jeffree Star reminded me of when I died and went to hell. When I went to hell, I found out I was a racist. And I've known it ever since. I have a back to life experience where I revived back to life. And it changed me a lot. But I recognized some things that were hidden within me, because when you die, everything evil has to leave you and you become wholly your own entity. In heaven or hell, you're your own entity. There's no devil infecting you as an infection in your mind when you go to hell, because then you're just being tortured and you recognize your foolishness. But that's neither here nor there. You can hear my story on that in that video. Maybe I'll put that video at the end of this for those of you who want to take a look at it. But racism in America is dead. It's a weak demon. It showed itself. It shot its wad, and we killed it. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. He loves you. He loves you. He made you. He's keeping you alive. You were able to watch or listen to this video because Jesus loves you. You're beautiful. You are beautiful. And I love you too. But remember, most importantly, Jesus loves you and he fights.